morning. Good morning and welcome everyone. My name is Cynthia Young and I am the Director of Music at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Reston. Our minister, the Reverend Dr. Deborah Hafner, is on leave through January. Linda Weaver, our Director of Religious Education, is leading service today. We are so glad all of you are here to worship with us this morning. I'm especially happy to welcome our children as active participants in today's special service, and any of you who are visiting us for the very first time. I am sure you have already noticed we are in a different format this Sunday for our special monthly multi-generational service. We invite you to all turn on your cameras if you so wish, and for at least right now, put your setting on gallery view. Please be aware during today's service that if your video is on, you may be spotlighted at certain times. We don't want you to be too surprised, so do be ready for that. Let's take a few minutes to wave to each other or give each other a thumbs up or maybe even pat your virtual neighbor on the back. And take a few minutes to go through the gallery and welcome each other on this beautiful Sunday morning. As we mentioned, our minister, the Reverend Dr. Deborah Hafner, is on leave, so we have a team leading worship for you this morning. In addition to Linda Weaver and myself, Jesse Leong, our accompanist, is with us. Mike Schmidt is running the technical side of worship. Beth DiPasquale and Maggie Mack are providing technical support for today's interactive elements. Maggie is the usher in today's chat. Thank you, Maggie. And Beth will be hosting our virtual meet and greet, which will happen as soon as service is over. Please stay in this meeting for that. Now let's enter into worship with a fun song that demonstrates that sometimes siding with love and justice requires being a pain. Enjoy this video by Alistair Mook, and please feel free to sing and dance along.
If you see something that's wrong, raise your hand and say that's wrong. Point it out and name that thing by its name. Don't stand by and stare. If it's wrong, it's your affair. Don't be quiet, make a riot, be a pain. Be a pain, shout about it and complain. Ignore the crowd and go against the grain. Don't be polite, raise your voice and do what's right. Be a pain, be a pain, be a pain. When Rosa Parks sat on that bus, she chose to make a fuss. She chose to break the rules and take the blame. Her choice to sit and fight helped to bring on civil rights, because one strong woman chose to be a pain. Be a pain, shout about it and complain. If they say you have to move, say I'll remain. Don't be polite, raise your voice and do what's right. Be a pain, be a pain, be a pain. Harvey Milk chose to run for the council board and won, even though folks said you can't because you're gay. One brave LGBTQ elected leader ran and knew you can change things if you choose to be a pain. Be a pain, shout about it and complain. Tell them I won't let you make me feel ashamed. Don't be polite, raise your voice and do what's right. Be a pain, be a pain, be a pain. Tennis star named Billie Jean told the world she had a dream that men and women would be paid the same. She refused to hit that ball till there was equal pay for all. She was a king because she was a royal pain. Be a pain, shout about it and complain. If they refuse to pay, refuse to play the game. Don't be polite, raise your voice and do what's right. Be a pain, be a pain, be a pain. Kids from Parkland led the fight for something they all knew was right. They said it's time for us to finally make a change. If adults can't compromise, we must go march for our lives. They spoke out and led the charge. They all were pains. Be a pain, shout about it and complain. When you're faced with laws you know are just insane. Don't be polite, raise your voice and do what's right. Be a pain, be a pain, be a pain. Oh, be a pain, shout about it and complain. Ignore the crowd and go against the grain. Don't be polite, raise your voice and do what's right. Be a pain, be a pain, be a pain.
Wasn't that a fun way to start this morning? Thank you for that. I'm Linda Weaver, the Director of Religious Education. And our opening words this morning are "You are beloved and you are welcome here" by the Reverend Joan Javier Duval, who delivered the Sunday morning sermon at the 2020 General Assembly of the Unitarian Universalist Association. Before becoming a minister, Reverend Javier Duval, a daughter of immigrants from the Philippines, was a community and political organizer. This is a responsive reading this morning, so it's a little bit different. You are invited to say words in your home, and you may turn on your camera and go to gallery view to see more people. Your line is, "You are beloved and you are welcome here." I will read a line, and then together we will all say, "You are beloved and you're welcome here." Let's try that line together now. You are beloved and you are welcome here. Whether tears have fallen from your eyes this past week, or gleeful laughter has spilled out of your smiling mouth, you are beloved and you are welcome here. Whether you are feeling brave or brokenhearted, defiant or defeated, fearsome or fearful, you are beloved and you are welcome here. Whether you have untold stories buried deep inside or stories that have been forced beyond the edges of comfort, you are beloved and you are welcome here. Whether you have made promises, broken promises, or are renewing your promises, you are beloved and you are welcome here. Whatever is in your heart, however it is with your soul in this moment, you are beloved and you are welcome here. In this space of welcome and acceptance, commitment and recommitment, of covenant and connection, let us worship together.
Our opening hymn is number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Thank you to our wonderful UUCR members who lead the singing in this fun family video. Kara, Jessie, Eleanor, and Julia Fortner, Anna Wesley, Charles and Lainey Nazar, Bob Anderson, and Amelia Turner and Nani Mullen. The words will be in your chat box. Please do sing along.
Get your hand down.
Now,
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a and come in.
Open your ears to the song. Open your ears to the song. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Open your heart, everyone. Open your heart, everyone. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Don't be afraid of some change. Don't be afraid of some change. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
Enter, rejoice, and come in. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in. Today will be a joyful day. Enter, rejoice, and come in.
We'll now begin our chalice lighting led on video.
Good morning. My name is Jesse Leong. I am the accompanist here at UUCR. Each Sunday, we sing a covenant together. Love is the spirit of this church. If you are visiting us today for the first time, please accept this as our blessing to you.
We will now have our chalice lighting this morning. And we have a special video for that.
Good morning. I am David Nemi. I am one of the coming of age facilitators this year. I am also Sophia's dad.
Good morning. I'm Sophia Delianis Nemi, and I am in the coming of age class. As I read the chalice lighting words, you may wish to light a candle in your own house.
Our chalice lighting words this morning are from Strength to Love by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Hate multiplies hate. Violence multiplies violence, and toughness multiplies toughness in a descending spiral of destruction.
It is now time for our all ages story. The story this morning is Wings. Wings, illustrated and written by Christopher Myers. Look at that strange boy. Everyone from the neighborhood is pointing fingers and watching the sky. How's he doing that? They stretch their necks and shake their heads. Icarus Jackson, a new boy on my block, is flying above the rooftops. He is swooping and diving, looping past people's windows and over the crowd. I don't think he's strange. Icarus Jackson, the flyboy, came to my school last Thursday. His long, strong, proud wings followed wherever he went. The whole school, with staring eyes and wagging tongues, they whispered about his wings and his hair and his shoes, like they whisper about how quiet I am. Our teacher complained that the other kids couldn't help but gawk and stare. He said that Icarus's wings blocked the blackboard and made it hard for the students to pay attention. The teacher told Icarus to leave class until he could figure out what to do with his wings. I wonder if that was fair and kind. Icarus left the room quietly, dragging his feathers behind him. One boy snickered. At recess, the snicker grew into a giggle and spread across the playground. Soon, all the kids were laughing at Icarus Jackson's useless wings. I thought that if he flew just once, everyone would stop laughing. Icarus looked up, flapped his wings a couple of times, then jumped into the air. He swept through the schoolyard like a slow-motion instant replay. But the other kids were not impressed. One girl grabbed the basketball. A boy stuffed the handball in his pocket. Somebody nagged. Nobody likes a show-off. Their words sent Icarus drifting into the sky, away from the glaring eyes and the pointed fingers. I waited for them to point back at me as I watched Icarus float farther and farther away. Walking home from school, I knew how he felt, how lonely he must be. Maybe I should have said something to those mean kids. I ran through the streets with my eyes to the sky, searching the clouds for Icarus. He struggled to stay in the air. His wings drooped, and his head hung low. He landed heavily on the edge of a building and sat with the pigeons. Pigeons don't make fun of people. A policeman passing by blew his whistle. "You with the wings, come down from there. Stay yourself on the ground. You'll get in trouble. You'll get hurt." It seemed to me Icarus was already in trouble and hurt. Could the policeman put him in jail for flying? For being too different? When the neighborhood kids saw the policeman yelling at him, they exploded with laughter. Icarus dropped to the ground. "Stop!" I cried. "Leave him alone!" And they did. I called to Icarus, and he sailed closer to me. I told him what someone should have long ago. "Your flying is beautiful." For the first time, I saw Icarus smile. At that moment, I forgot about the kids who had laughed at him and me. I was just glad that Icarus had found his wings again. "Look at that amazing boy," I called to all the people on the street as I pointed to my new friend Icarus, swirling through the sky. This is the time in our service when we invite you to share your joys and cares for yourself, your family, our community, or our world. We hope that in sharing, you will know that you are not alone. Perhaps you might want to light a candle in your home to mark what is in your heart. You may enter these in chat, making sure to write to everyone, or you may hold up words or pictures like this. Please remember that anything you write or show is public. Please enter in this time of silence and let each other's joys and concerns wash over you. Spirit of life and love, we lift up all who are experiencing sorrows and concerns, those facing illness, grief, challenges and worries, and those concerned for family, for friends, for country, for the world. May all find comfort in this community. Even in difficult times, there is joy. We celebrate births, birthdays, anniversaries, and successes. We celebrate the hope of a new administration and for vaccines. And we rejoice in time spent with family and friends, even when it's at a distance. May joys be multiplied in sharing. Amen, and blessed be.
I am so excited to share this next song with you, With My Own Two Hands by Ben Harper. If you caught the pre-inaugural concert last Sunday night called We the People, you will have seen Ben Harper singing this inspiring song from his home in California. The words are so perfect for today's service. I can change the world with my own two hands. I have been wanting to introduce you to this music created by the organization Playing for Change. This amazing initiative was started about 10 years ago, way before the COVID pandemic, even though their concept was to create virtual music videos combining musicians virtually who were physically very far apart. In addition to bringing together amazing musicians from sometimes remote and lesser-known places, Playing for Change also joins with local organizations in those countries to bring awareness to challenges facing people all around the world. Playing for Change came to Burkina Faso while we were living there. In fact, some of our friends are singing and dancing and playing instruments in this video, which focuses on the challenge of combating poverty. The inauguration of a new president, Ben Harper and his inspiring song, Playing for Change and their work for good around the world, 30 days of love and thinking about what we are called to do. It all seems to come together in this wonderful musical collaboration with my own two hands. Please sing and dance along, and during the chorus, show us your own two hands.
veux changer le monde avec mes deux mains. Faire un monde meilleur avec mes deux mains. Faire un monde plus doux avec mes deux mains. 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 I'm gonna make it a brighter place. I'm gonna make it a safer place. I'm gonna help the human race. And I hold you. And I comfort you. But you got to use your own two hands.
We're in the middle of 30 Days of Love, a celebration of the ways we use our hands and our lives to make a difference. It's a celebration created by the Unitarian Universalist Association Side with Love public advocacy campaign, it began last Sunday. The theme of the first week was living our values in the world. Even during this time of pandemic and physically distancing, the children, teens, and adults here at UUCR have been doing that. I am so proud and hopeful because of the work they have been doing, and I'm delighted to share it with you this morning. In October, congregants donated food and gift cards for a local food bank, filling the barrel that you may see in this photo behind Megan, Mike, and Vivian. In November, many here donated more food and coats and holiday gifts to Cornerstones for local families experiencing financial difficulties, and at least one of our families helped at the drop-off site. In December, our 8th through 10th grade coming of age class picked up litter in a corner of Ruston, doing so safely and at a distance, as you can see in this photo. Our high school youth group made holiday cards for the residents of a nearby retirement home and received a note telling them that these cards lit up the holidays for the residents, some who received no other cards or gifts. In January, our elementary school age children promoted and donated to the drive for soaps, shampoos, and other toiletries, which was part of Ruston's Martin Luther King Jr. Day service. Adults were extremely active in the UU the Vote, took part in rallies and vigils for Black Lives Matters, like this car rally that you'll see in a moment. They held a December alternative gift market online also. I'm sure I missed many activities at UUCR, so if you'd like to add those in chat, go ahead and do so. In addition, some of you may have individually attended marches and demonstrations, siding with love by being a pain, to borrow the words from the video at the beginning of the service. Many have created blankets or dropped off food or called friends and members to let them know we care. Many of us have said something kind or encouraging, like the person in the story Wings, who said Icarus's flying was beautiful. And each time you wear a mask and stay 6 feet away from people outside your household or bubble, you are showing love and care for others, as much as we hope for the end of physical distancing. Side with Love especially addresses immigrant justice, LGBTQ equity, and racial justice. And UUCR joins Side with Love in advocating for these causes. You may have seen some Side with Love t-shirts when you were in gallery view, like these worn by members at the first Ruston Pride celebration the congregation sponsored. UUCR has also signaled support and committed itself to continued learning and work around racial justice and LGBTQ advocacy with the Black Lives Matters banner that was dedicated this summer and the rainbow flag that was rededicated at the same time. We have a lot to celebrate. So go ahead, applaud for each other by visibly clapping, sign language applause, pat yourself on the back, use responses in Zoom, or you can even jump up. We hope you'll do that now, and such a great job, everyone. It is important to take time to celebrate our accomplishments, to recognize what we have achieved, and to know we have made a difference. It helps us have hope for the future and motivates us to continue to spread love and justice, lifting up people and the world. 30 Days of Love, however, is not just about celebrating what we've already accomplished, but it's also a time to recognize that there's still a lot to do. This year, 30 Days of Love focuses on 4 themes. We've already talked about the first, living our values in the world. The theme for this week is hospitality and inclusion. Next week is educating for liberation, and the final week is restoration and reparations. For the rest of my time, I'll focus on this week's theme. You can find out more about the others through videos, readings, and activities on the Side with Love website, and we'll be sharing some in e-newsletters and Facebooks. Considering hospitality and inclusion this week is exciting, since we are seeing inclusion grow in our government's highest offices. On Wednesday, our country celebrated the inauguration of the first woman vice president, Kamala Harris, who is the daughter of Indian and Jamaican immigrants. And the president's cabinet will be the most racially diverse ever if President Biden's choices are confirmed. With the new administration, many of us are hoping that the rights for people who are Black, people who are LGBTQ, immigrants, and women will expand, and we are hopeful for less hate in our country. After the celebrations are over, it's time to ask, what next? What will we do to continue dismantling injustice and oppression so all are fully welcome and can fully participate in our communities? As I work with children, I search for ways to involve those who are discouraged or face barriers, and I want children to feel appreciated for who they are, especially if they're often overlooked or teased. Don't we all want that? To feel included, listened to, and appreciated, right? C.B. Beale, a colleague who presents and consults on preemptive radical inclusion. Let me say that again, preemptive radical inclusion. That is extreme inclusion before the fact. This means creating an environment that ensures people will be included before they're even present. When talking about part of this idea, C.B. has said, if 3-year-old Timmy says, I'm a tiger, then Timmy is a tiger. With preemptive radical inclusion, we listen to and believe people when they tell us how they identify and what they need. We also strive to recognize and appreciate their tigerness. No, we probably can't be tigers throughout our life. As someone I know who is Black and enjoys acting in theater told me, we all wear masks and act. At school, we put on the school act. At work, we put on the work act. He went on to tell me that he grew up on the streets and still uses the language he learned there with some friends. Hearing this, I wondered what it would take to trust a group enough to take off the mask and stop acting for a while. For him to trust that he would still be seen as intelligent and as a leader if people saw more sides of him. I hope we can get to a place where people feel comfortable taking off their masks more often, and where we see a little of each other's hearts in our own, perhaps recognizing some of our own tigerness. I'm feeling hopeful that more people will be fully welcomed and included into our lives and our organizations, and into leadership. As we enter into 2021, welcome a new administration, and take part in 30 Days of Love, we can and must take action that will bring justice and healing. Even though we will make mistakes, if we work together with love in our hearts, we as a community and as a country can bring about the changes that are so needed, creating equity and lifting people up, allowing individuals to be their best selves, their true selves, and helping our country live up to its promise of liberty, equality, and justice for all. Amanda Gorman beautifully expressed this optimism in her poem for the inauguration entitled The Hill We Climb. The final words of the poem sound to me like a prayer of hope and intention. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover in every known nook of our nation, every corner called our country. Our people, diverse and beautiful, will emerge, battered and beautiful. When day comes, we step out of the shade, aflame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it, if only we're brave enough to be it. Let us lift up her words now. Amen, and may it be so.
Thank you so much, Linda, for your inspiring homily this morning. That was beautiful. Our closing hymn is number 1024, When the Spirit Says Do. The words will be in your chat box. Please do sing, move, and dance along with me and Jesse.
5, 6, 7, 8.
You've got to do when the Spirit says do. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. When the Spirit says do, you've got to do, oh Lord. You've got to do when the Spirit says do. 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 You've got to sing when the Spirit says sing. You've got to sing when the Spirit says sing. When the Spirit says sing, you've got to sing, oh Lord. You've got to sing when the Spirit says sing. 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 You've got to shout when the Spirit says shout. You've got to shout when the Spirit says shout. When the Spirit says shout, you've got to shout, oh Lord. You've got to shout when the Spirit says shout. 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 You've got to dance when the Spirit says dance. You've got to dance when the Spirit says dance. When the Spirit says dance, you've got to dance, oh Lord. You've got to dance when the Spirit says dance. 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 Spirit says dance.
That was wonderful, Cynthia, and I was so moved. I missed my cue. But our closing words today are from To Invoke Love by Reverend Sean Parker Dennison from Breaking and Blessing. To invoke love is to ask for a hug from a thunderstorm, spill tea in the lap of the infinite trickster, to make the biggest, most embarrassing mistake of your life in front of everyone who matters. To invoke love is to allow for the possibility that your words and actions might become so empowered you can no longer believe in apathy for the self-righteous idea that nothing can change. To invoke love is to give up self-deprecation, false humility, pride, to consider yourself worthy to be made whole, willing to encounter love that will never let us let each other go. To invoke love is to guard against assumptions, take care with your words, and practice forgiveness, not as ethereal ideal, but right here in the messy midst of our imperfect lives. To invoke love is to play the fool, the one more concerned with loving than with appearance or reputation, the one ready and willing to be vulnerable, abandoning anything that gets in love's way. To invoke love is to be ready to become love, here, now, in everything we do. Are you ready?
Thank you, Linda. Our closing song today is Your Love Keeps Lifting Me Higher and Higher by Jackie Wilson. The words to the chorus will be in your chat box. Please sing and dance along and enjoy. Your love is lifting me higher than I've ever been lifted before. So keep it up, quench my desire, and I'll be at your side forevermore. You know your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher and higher. Now once I was downhearted, disappointment was my closest friend. But then you came and soon departed, and you never showed his face again. That's why your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher and higher. I'm so glad I finally found you. Yes, that one in a million girl. And now with my loving arms around you, honey, I can stand up and face the world. Oh, your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher, higher and higher. I said your love keep on lifting me higher and higher.
Yay! Thank you, Jessie, for that wonderful postlude, as always, lifting us all up. It is time for our weekly offering. Our collection plate is different than your pledge payments. It is a way each week that we ask you to make an offering as part of your witness and gratitude for the worship service and our time together. We invite all of you, members, friends, and visitors, to enter this link into your smartphone and donate to our beloved community. Checks mailed to the church are also gratefully received. Listen to the music, make your offering, And stay right here today for our virtual Greet Your Neighbor. In the breakout rooms, we will invite you to talk about what love calls you to do.